Hey guys, welcome to another video from the Parrott Bros. Now, I've been sent a little bundle of goodies. Now, I've actually been looking for one of these for a little while because I think they are incredible. And this is like a load cover slash sort of trim. Now, if you've ever fitted a seat delete, you remove your rear seats, fitted that seat delete, you've got the net, but you still have the original load cover or parcel shelf, whatever you want to call it on a TT. It's this little thing that sort of dangles on the boot lid, which doesn't really do anything. It kind of looks naff because they go black and then they turn grey, and there needed to be something different. And then this company, Bespoke, made some lovely, I'm assuming CNC cut metal brackets. Now these actually replace the original ones. They bolt in, they are strong as houses, and they look fantastic. They've actually got the Quattro logo etched out. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. If I put it there that you can just about see it maybe. I don't know. I'll get you some close-ups in a minute. But they've also sent me a few other goodies to have a play with. These are quite cool. Now, I'd never even seen these before. Now, these go either side of your center console in that gap, and I think they're quite a nice little touch. Again, got Quattro lasered into them. Very, very cool. And then the third one was this beautiful H-gate, which is quite popular for many people. You put your normal trim over the top. Whether you keep this in this sort of anodized silver or you paint it black, I actually really like their logo, and I wish that was on display. But it is another one. We'll get it fitted. We'll see what it looks like, and these would probably suit that sort of weighted shift knob, like a Ferrari, quite a dumpy but quite wide shift knob, gear knob, whatever you want to call it. But I wanted to go through some of the additional parts that you could do to sort of give it that OEM plus, fully removable afterwards. The only thing I will say is if you fit the load cover, by the looks of it, once fitted you have to drill and then you put in a fixing and you screw it on. You will not be able to put your original parcel shelf back in, so do bear that in mind. But then again, if you've gone to the extent of taking your rear seats out and all the other things you're going to be doing to your car, plus that looks tons better. They actually do two different types. This is a slimmed down one. They do an original one which is pretty much the same sort of shape as a parcel shelf, so it will hide what's in the boot as a load cover as well. It just looks a little bit nicer. If you've got a broken shelf or your one's missing, that one isn't that much more expensive than getting a genuine used one off eBay, which is not in 100% condition. So enough of me talking. Let's go and throw some of this in the car and see what it looks like, shall we? Okay, so we'll start with these little trims that go around these. Now, all you need to do to remove this is you need a Torx 30, and there's 4 fixings, one in each corner. And I just wanted to show you quite how nice these fit on there. They've obviously been really well designed. The holes mount up absolutely splendid. Really nice precision fixings. See how close we can get that. Really nice precision fixings, even for a cutout for the leather bolster. And then that's what it's going to look like once it's on the car. Really cool. Like I said, not for everyone, but I'm sure if you contact them, you can get these in all different colours. You can also paint these. I'm tempted to make everything inside the car black, just to take some of the chrome out of it, or the brushed sort of aluminium. But let's go and throw these in. And I mean, it's going to be a nice simple 5-minute job, really. Just loosely put in the 4 fixings. Start at the bottom because they're the ones with the 2 holes, and the tops will just kind of stay in position. Let's go over to the car. I would definitely recommend bringing a cloth just to wipe the inside here, because you do not know what has fallen down there, and usually there is some horrors in there. So we'll start with the bottom. I would always recommend doing fixings by hand first, because the last thing you want to do is gum one in and then have an issue. And I have done that before, speaking from experience. But nice and simple. Once you've started it by hand, you can then obviously put it in afterwards. Now I have removed the leather thing, and I will show you how to put the knee pad back on again. Let's just put this last one in gently. And then I'll give you a nice close-up of what they look like. Now the leather knee pads are really, really easy to change. I've had some carbon fibre ones in the past, and I may go back there because I quite like them. These knee pads, really simple to do. They've got a small cutout on the back edge which sits in a groove and stops it moving, and all you need to do is put your hand around the back and then just gently pull it away, not too far because you don't actually want to damage it, but they just literally just push on afterwards like so, and then they are there. let's give you a close-up of what that looks like, because I think they look great. I mean, there's no particular purpose for it as such, because realistically, you've got that pocket there and you're not going to be putting much else in there, but I quite like it. Quite a nice little touch, that. Like I said, really simple, takes 10 minutes in and out. If you want to paint these trims, that's quite a nice little thing to do as well. It all depends on what you want to do with the car. But again, nice little OEM touch, nice little make it something different from what everyone else has got, you know? Let's move on to, I'll show you the parcel shelf quickly. So, if you're a TT owner, I may have had this discussion with you many, many times in the past. If you're going to open your boot with the key, make sure you put the key back in your pocket, never put it in the car, because these tend to have a tendency to locking yourself out. Or use the boot button like everyone else does. So, parcel shelves in a normal TT are mounted here. Now, they're on 2 pull clips, and then they're on, if it comes out, 2 pull clips, and then it just kind of pushes forwards, like so. And this one's broken, which is kind of the same for most. Let me just get you set up a bit further back there. So this is what a normal one would look like. Very, very common to see one fixing broken because they just get pulled out and whatever. And this is quite another one, is because it's got that horrible Volkswagen Audi group textured paint, they tend to go funny over the years, and it goes a different colour. There you go, look. It's grey that side and black that side, because obviously that's one that's seen the sun and it looks awful. Most of them look like that. Let me go and get the other shelf to compare. Now, like I said, this is the slimmed down one. We'll call this the sport model. So as you can see, it's about half the size, but it's not made to cover over the boot. It is made simply as just a nice looking trim. You've got the seat delete. You want a little bit of something in the window, because obviously you've got these holes in the tailgate, so you're going to want to do something with them. You may as well put this lovely trim on, rather than having this faded, horrible, half broken thing. And I mean, in a reasonable condition like this, if that was intact, that would be like £80 on eBay, which is mental. These clips sell for like 25 quid a clip. This one's actually, I didn't notice this to start with. This one has been screwed in. That is not original, let me tell you. That is not factory. So this one has been, we'll say, bastardized. In the past, it works, but it is most definitely not right. So it's quite lucky, actually, that I've got this. And this will just offer up, and it will just push in nice into the gap there, and then we need to put the fixings in there, and it fits dead snug already and really, really nice. So we'll get that in there. And then we put them tabs in. Kind of holds itself in anyway, I won't let go in case it falls out. And then we get it screwed in and get them fixings on. And then, of course, from above, if you ever look through the window, you'll see the word Quattro. Now, I put it on the wrong way around, so ignore me to start with. That would make sense why it didn't fit very well with the screws. There we go, that's better. So it tucks up and in. You've got to take the original fixings off. What I'll do is I'll wedge it in there for the time being so we can have a look. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like once fitted. Now, of course, I've just pushed it besides these clips because I just wanted to show you what it looked like fitted before I go round and fit it. Let's see if it will stay in whilst I put the thing down. Yeah, there you go. And look at that. Doesn't that look great? See that Quattro logo just gleaming out. And it just gives it that nice sporty look. Like I said, you've got the seat delete, which the seats kind of come up at a more slanted angle anyway, and a load cover will cover the boot a bit more. Like I said, you can get a slightly bigger one, but realistically, you've got a net so people can quite easily look through your net and see what's in your boot anyway. So this is definitely a really nice and quite popular one to do, and I think it just looks great through the window. People are looking and say, oh, Quattro, that's nice. I would probably, if you've got normal back seats or you're going to have stuff in the boot quite regularly, get the full size one, but quite a tasty little mod that, and I really, really like that. That's really, really nice. I'm quite glad I got the slimmed down version sent to me because, to be honest, the only thing I have in there is camera gear, and I always take that out with me when I get anywhere. I tend not to leave anything of value in my car. Most of the time, I'm going to shows and whatever anyway. And if I'm going to the ring, we're going to put all our stuff in our hotel straight away anyway. But again, once fitted, can always be removed because you're going to have screws in there. So you can quite easily undo your screws and then it just lifts out as any normal parcel shelf would. Weight difference wise, there is literally nothing in it. This may be a tiny bit lighter, but if you get the full size one, it'll probably be the same because this is plastic, metal and cloth material. So there's not really any benefit weight wise, apart from this just will never look grey, black, grey, black. So that is a really, really nice one. I like that. This is not a paid promotion. This is just me showing you some of the stuff that you can get. Full disclaimer, because I didn't want you to think I was being paid to do this. I actually contacted the guy and said, look, I want some stuff from you and I want to be able to share it with everyone else because I know for a fact loads of you haven't seen this. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, go check them out. I'll put all their details down in the description because they do some lovely stuff and I'm sure there will be even more nice stuff to come in the future that we haven't seen yet that may be in production. So definitely go check them out, give them a like and a follow. Let's have a look at that H-gate, shall we? Okay, so for this job, you don't actually need too much. Now, there's a couple of ways about going about it. Now, there's a trim, this one here, which is held on with a load of small Torxes, which I'll tell you what size it is, with a load of Torx 20s, all the way around the outside. Now, once that's done, you may just need to gently lift off the rubber around the gaiter, because what you don't want to do is break it, because if you ever want to put this back in the future, that's going to be a pain in the butt. So just gently lever it off all the way around, and then what you'll probably have to do afterwards is then spin your gear knob, because usually the gear knob is quite attached to the rubber, and that will just, I say will just, it should just come off like so. Now they don't always come off as easy. Sometimes they can be quite a fight to get off, but I do have a separate video for that, so if you are struggling to get your gear knob off, go check that out. The H-gate should, because I've not tried this yet, should just fit down there like so. There's actually a cutout specifically in the right place. It comes with its own fixings, because the fixings you're going to need to be longer, and they're also an Allen key fixing, so you can reuse your existing trim cover. And of course I have a set without any Allen keys in front of me. I have one, but it's far too big. Let me just go grab one because I'm really unprepared as always. Apologies for that. I was going to say to you, I always recommend getting yourself a bit set, but clearly I did not listen to that memo. But yeah, the bit set's dead handy, really worth having. And of course I can't find the right Allen key bit that I want at the time of looking for it, which is always helpful. Okay, so it is a number 3. So get yourself a number 3 Allen key. Now I recommend putting these in by hand, because the last thing you want to do is cross-thread one of these tiny little ones. There's a couple of ways that, to be honest, it doesn't really matter which way that goes on. I would probably just try and put them all in by hand first. Oh, I think I missed. Ah, there we go. No, I didn't have it far enough through. That makes sense. There we go. Perfect. And then I'll try and quickly separate this from there. Now, you may, like I said, you may want a different gear knob, because this is going to look weird, and it's also probably going to foul on there. Yep. Let's wind that up a bit. But as expected, it fits really nice, and it gives you that kind of racy car look. I have got, I think, another gear knob somewhere, which I'll go and throw on so you can see. Try and get ones on opposites, just because then it will hold it in rather than doing all of one side. The other thing that I may recommend is when you're doing this, you may want to get some material like some neoprene or almost like a stretchy fabric. Let's say, for instance, like sport boxers, and put it between the 3 screws underneath so then you can't see down and through into the mechanism. That is a completely personal preference, but I don't really like looking down into the gear knob area. Plus it's easy to drop things down there in the future, but it does give that sort of nice racy look. So it all depends on what you want from the car, but great looking thing this. And it kind of looks like it's meant to be in a TT. What I'll do, let me go and find another gear knob, see if I can find one that looks a bit better, then I'll give you a bit of a bird's eye view. Interesting gear knob, it's quite weighted, it's a Momo one with a spring on, but I think it actually suits this quite well. And you can see it fits really well. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And it fits really nicely. It looks quite cool. Like I said, I don't know how I feel about seeing the mechanism below, but that's not any personal preference on the actual H-gate itself. That's just the mechanism underneath, and you can put something underneath just to cover that, but as it goes, I think that looks really good. Now this has got a short shift on it, so the throw is a lot less anyway. So I haven't actually got to move my arm, but what a great looking thing. Like I said, it gives you that sort of OEM look. Let's go for a walk around the car, shall we? Now I'd like to thank James from Bespoke for sending me out these items, and also I wanted to say to you that if you ever wanted anything done customised, just get in touch with him and he'll be more than happy to help. If you want something different machined into something or a certain design, he'll be more than happy to do what he can for you. I think that looks really cool. And to go with those Quattro trims there as well. Like I said, gear knob, that might not be to your choice because that is literally just one I have on the shelf in the cupboard, but the H-gate looks fabulous, doesn't it? I mean, if who likes old school Ferraris, then that is definitely one for you. But like I said, go check them out. They do loads of cool stuff. This is just some of the stuff they offer for a TT, and I think when you're trying to make it a little bit tricky, it's definitely nice to be different. Not for everyone. The OEM boys will absolutely hate that, but at the end of the day, it is all about personal preference. Now, the finish and the quality of their parts is literally 11 out of 10. It is really, really good. If it's something you want and you order it, you are not going to be disappointed, I'm not going to lie. Packaging, it's the best packed item I've received in probably 3 or 4 years. It comes with lovely instructions, really easy to follow. Like you just watch me fit everything. Super simple. All you need is some basic hand tools, which if you own a TT, you have, even if you're not mechanically minded. If you watch the Parrott Bros, you're definitely up for having a go, so 10 out of 10 for that. But let me know what you think. Out of the 3, what was your favourite? What do you want? What would you have? What colour would you have it? Let me know. I love it all. And you're probably going to see it in this car at meets in the future, although I need to get rid of that gear knob because that thing is horrible. I'll probably try and get one of those sort of R8 style weighted sort of dumpy ones. And to be honest, height-wise, I might even keep this Momo one on just for a little while. But it just shifts so nice. I really like that. I'm just going to leave the Momo one on, you know. Even though it looks a little bit boy racery, I like it. But I hope you've enjoyed watching that, guys. That is some of the interior stuff I'm going to do. To be honest, I'm not really going to do much else other than a phone holder, because I've got this horrible flappy one here which literally does not hold my phone. It is horrific. But apart from that, I'm probably not going to do a lot. I might change these silver seats to black seats in the future, but do you know what? I quite like it. What would you change? What goes with the Glacier blue? Let me know down in the comments. Would you keep the blue net? I'm still on the fence about that. I quite like the idea of a black net, because I like that subtle, not really, really shouting bright, loud, look at me, for that OEM plus. But then again, I've got a 5 different coloured gear knobs, so who knows? Who knows? But I hope you've enjoyed watching this one, guys. and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.